It is the Etobicoke-Lakeshore podcast, and a few of them have come at you today. We have had a visit at every level of government possible, and that, of course, will include this episode. My name is Mike Wixon. Right there is Roger Tumanuri. He's the publisher of the Etobicoke-Lakeshore Press. I almost said podcast there. How are you, buddy?
Excellent. Thank you, Mike. How are you doing?
Good, thank you. We've had a busy day of podcasts. Isn't it nice to be busy?
It's really nice to be busy, especially these days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, look, we'll tell you this. Subscribe to the podcast, especially if you're in this area. If you're not, when things open up, you'll want to have a visit, I promise you. Etobicoke-Lakeshore South is just a wonderful area, Mimico, along the waterfront there. I will start with saying one thing. In that area, there are a bunch of beautiful parks along the waterfront. They are all closed. Please do not go there. And to quote Mark Grimes, local councillor there in the neighborhood, the longer that we don't abide by these things, the more likely we're going to lose our summer and not be able to visit those parks. So please use common sense, stay out of those parks, and we'll get into more detail. And you can even go back in other episodes. Christine Hogarth has just joined us. Mark Grimes both had great advice about how to operate in the community on a social level. I'll recommend you do that. Tell us about our guest today, Roger.
Joining us now is James Maloney. He's a member of Parliament for Etobicoke-Lakeshore.
Thanks for joining us, James. This is really wonderful.
Well, my pleasure, guys.
And so your days must be full day and night, working at a social distance. What are some of what is your day full of right now? Maybe you can describe how the at a federal level we're operating.
Well, we're operating physically much the same way you are, and most people are right now, and that's as I'm at home every day, so I'm able to. I've got an office set up here. I have an iPad and my laptop and my phones, so I'm able to do everything remotely. So I'm fortunate in that respect. My office is still fully operational. My staff are doing the same thing. They're at home, so people need to get a hold of us. They can still contact us by telephone or by email, and we're available not 24/7, but we're almost. So look, my days consist of getting up and responding to people's concerns on email, returning all the phone calls that we get. What I'm really trying to do is make sure that everybody has information that's becoming available as quickly as possible. As you know, the Prime Minister's doing daily press conferences at 11:15. In fact, I'm missing it right now, so I'm going to have to rewind it when we're done and watch it. But he's doing that to keep people abreast of all of the information. So I'm sending out emails to constituents. I'm posting things on Facebook. I'm posting things on Twitter and Instagram and other platforms. So to answer your question in short, I'm available. I'm just home doing it. I'm just trying to make sure anybody who has any questions knows that I'm free to answer all those questions for them.
One of the things that we've been recommending to people is that they get their local mayor, get their local premier update, and of course, take information from official sources like the Prime Minister's update, just to make sure that we're all on the same page. Is there one message coming from the Prime Minister's office and from the federal government that we need to get out there to people that you'd like to share?
Yeah, you know what? It's the same message I suspect you're hearing from other levels of government too, Mike. It's, be safe. If we follow the protocols and if we follow them strictly, we will beat this thing, and we will beat it sooner rather than later. Look, I'll be candid with you. One of the most frustrating things for me, less so now, but it still exists, is people, well, I'm okay. I'm not feeling sick. I'm going to go over and see my friend, Bob, and we're going to hang out in his garage, or we're going to stand in the driveway, or we're going to, do whatever. I know it's difficult and it's very challenging, but you have to do what we're doing right now. You have to stay home, follow the protocols. It's the things your mother told you when you're a kid. Wash your hands. Stay safe, because if we do that, honestly, it's the best way to beat this thing, and it's proven to be effective. I mean, there's countries around the world where are examples that they've had greater success fighting this thing than some others. So just do it. I know it's difficult. And the sooner we can do it, the better. And try to stay positive too. And the other message is, and this is a longer answer than you probably anticipated,
I
but
want the whole answer.
well, think about your neighbors, think about your friends. We all have neighbors who look. I don't live alone. I live with my family, and we've got a beautiful dog. So, but not everybody's as lucky as I am. There's a lot of people out there who are living alone. If you know them or you live near them, think about them. Think about, if you're going out and you have to go get groceries, which you should only be doing, as frequently as absolutely necessary. But think about them too, and maybe call them and see if you can help them out to avoid them having to make a trip, especially if they're seniors, because as everybody knows by now, seniors are the most vulnerable part of our population when it comes to coronavirus. The other thing I would ask people to think about is food banks and local charities. Right here in Etobicoke-Lakeshore, we have the Daily Bread Food Bank. They are operating 24/7. They're understaffed. They're in short supply of goods, and there's a lot of people out there who need it now more so than ever. So think about that. If you can make a donation financially, or if you can make a donation physically, there are mechanisms to do it. So, but the most important, follow the protocols. Think of others. Because when you think of others, you're protecting yourself, and stay safe. But
it's
also have a good attitude. One of the positive things about this is people are reaching out to me all day, every day, and like, our community is special. I brag about it all the time. But the number of people who are reaching out to me solely for the purpose of asking me how they can help, there are numbers of people every day who reach out to me on social media or email saying, "How can I help? Do you need volunteers? Who needs volunteers?" That type of thing. So we're trying to harness some of that to address some of the needs I just talked about. That's inspiring. It really it reminds us how good of people we are.
I was just going to brag a little bit about being Canadian, because I have friends in the U.S. that are calling me, and they're, of course, in quite a state of panic in many of the major centers there. And their comment to me was, why can't we just behave like Canadians? You guys seem to be doing what you need to be doing. And while we're telling people, oh, look, you need to do this, the vast majority, I think, of people are abiding in this. And it is really very Canadian of us, I think, in that regard.
Yeah, and it's very Canadian too. And it's on the positive perspective, if you see people when you're out and about who aren't necessarily sticking to the protocols, don't get angry. Just remind them,
Yeah.
Be positive, because this isn't going to end on Saturday.
No, and people seem to be adjusting to backing from one another, keeping a little bit of distance, and actually appreciating that. Looking ahead, a number of the businesses in the area, we've been talking over the last couple of episodes here about how to support businesses in the area, what will be left for them when we're all free to be back out there and doing things. When the dust settles, as it were, how are we going to handle this, and what's out there for businesses after all of this and while this is going on?
Well, let's deal with the while this is going on first. We have in Etobicoke-Lakeshore about 4,300 small to medium-sized businesses. There's businesses all over. It's not just Lakeshore, Queensway, and Bloor Street. The main streets. There's small businesses all over, and they are all struggling right now. All you need to do is walk down the streets to see it. So and you've heard this too, but if you're thinking about ordering food or ordering groceries or whatever the case may be, think local right now. It's never been more important than it is now, and you do it for a number of reasons. One, it supports them, but two, it keeps you local, and it helps people with who are still working in that industry. Look, there's a number of initiatives, and I won't use your podcast here to go through the list of all of the programs that are available, but there's many of them. And if you own or work for a small or medium-sized business or any business, feel free to reach out to my office. You can go to my website and you can see what the programs that are available and the support that's there for you. Or you can go to canada.ca. Canada.ca is a great source of information, whether you're an employee or an employer or self-employed or whatever the case may be. the things are evolving day by day. Programs are starting to get rolled out right now, the federal government and all levels of government, frankly. And that's another thing people need to take a look at. Everybody's, virtually arm in arm here, not literally, of course, working together, whether you're federal, provincial, and municipal. And that's working pretty well too. So, but I would encourage people to go look at the programs, go online, check out these programs that are available, because there is things that are coming out right now. Yesterday, the Prime Minister and Bill Morneau rolled out the wage subsidy program for employers, so people can keep their staff on the payroll in the short term, so that, to the second part of your question, when this ends, and it will end, those businesses can move quickly to get back up and running again, and they're not digging themselves out of a deeper hole than is already necessary.
Yeah, this was a fast action on the part of the federal government. I think everybody's made note of that. So once again, go to any federal, any MP member of Parliament would have it on their website, and then of course at Canada.ca you can check that out.
Exactly.
And I guess just, in closing, you pointed out something. This is not forever. This is for now. While we're doing this for now, what words of encouragement can you hand, your constituents and, frankly, Canadians about where we're at and where we're going? Let's end on a good, feel-good note.
Well, look, it's what I said earlier. Stay positive. Remember, we will get through this. Remember, this is not a permanent situation. And remember, you've got a lot of friends and a lot of neighbors. They're thinking about you. You think about them. Do what we need to do. Stay positive. And next time I am on your show, I'll be sitting across the desk from you.
I'm looking forward to that. Thank you so much, James Maloney, a member of Parliament for Etobicoke-Lakeshore. And once again, you can go to jmaloney.liberal.ca to find out more about what is out there, and you can link through at Canada.ca as well. Thank you so much, James. Stay safe.
I'll give you my office phone number too, Mike. It's
Give me that.
416-251-5510. And
Excellent.
my email address is james.maloney@parl.gc.ca. That's PARL.gc.ca.
Once again, the number 416-251-5510. James Maloney, your family, and all the people that you love, please stay safe, and we will look forward to speaking with you again real soon.
You too. All right. Listen, thanks very much, guys, and thanks for doing this, because you're helping get the message out, and that's fantastic. So appreciate it.
Thank you, James.
All right. See you guys.
Well, there we go. The message is consistent, it seems, Roger, through all levels of government. There is no mystery to this. Stay away from each other. Stay home if you can. If you're an essential worker, use the common sense of social distancing and washing your hands, not touching your face. It's a pretty simple message. We all just have to adopt the reality.
Yeah, it's not difficult. But I also like the messages that we heard too. Stay kind. Think of others, because when you think of others, you're thinking about yourself.
It's a great message, isn't it? Well, look, man, I know this was a marathon of shows today. We've done 3 of them in a row, but I think it was really important. So I appreciate you putting them together, Roger. I'll recommend people go to Etobicoke-Lakeshore-Press.com. The most recent publications are already there. Subscribe to this podcast. Apparently, we're going to do a number of them just to keep you in the loop. We're part of the community, and we're glad that you're there. Roger, thank you, buddy.
Thank you, Mike.